Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the Attack on Titan green full set breakdown. We've officially got the full English set list for all the Attack on Titan cards, so I should have a video up already with the blue full set breakdown as well as the red. Definitely check those out if you haven't already. Also, while I'm sure so many sets from so many animes spoil a lot, I did just want to mention, if you've never seen Attack on Titan, this green set, spoils so much. Just saying. I'm sure a lot of sets do that for a lot of different anime, but you know, spoiler warning, if you're planning on watching Attack on Titan and you haven't even gotten past the first season, there's some huge spoilers in here. But I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've seen Attack on Titan, so there's no worries. But yeah, today we're going to be diving into the green set here. We've got some really interesting cards here, as well as one of our next biggest printed cards right behind Saitama, of course, because he's in his own league. But we have a 6K printed who's going to be blocking 5Ks. He's a 10 cost, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting. This is a really cool looking set here. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So while every card in the green set is based around the Titans from the series, it does look like the decks are sort of trying to do their own thing, so I don't know how much mixing and matching you're really going to be able to do. In one deck, you're going to have Zeke, who's pretty much trying to run an entire army of pure Titans. You could definitely splash in the raids potentially, but with how big they cost and what this card's trying to do, because it's just trying to play off of pure Titans on the field, I believe you're pretty much going to be making a deck with all the pure Titans being led by Zeke, and then you're going to have the other deck here that's going to be based around Annie, who is basically helping you get the other big raid cards out here like Reina and Bertol. So yeah, so again, you might be able to do some mixing and matching, but based off the specials and stuff too and what they're doing, because we got a really unique one here, a 9 cost 2 action point special. Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see the builds on these. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you're building these. There's going to be a good chance that the mixing and matching doesn't really go super well. But yeah, starting it off with the big card from the set that you're definitely trying to get out more or less as soon as possible, the 10 cost Bertol, aka the Colossal Titan. This card looks really cool. I don't know if he's going to be like game breaking or anything, and with how this deck is generating energy, 10 isn't going to be the hardest thing to get out. So he's got an interesting thing. If he's on the front line, rated or unrated, the number of cards on your front line is reduced by 1, so you can essentially only have 3 other cards, or 3 cards total on the front line with this character. And then real quick, one of the biggest things about this card that I want to point out is that he is a 6K BP, so you're going to be able to block 5Ks, which is more or less unheard of outside of the Saitama deck. But yeah, he's got Impact 1, Damage 3 when rated. When played, you actually sideline all characters with 0 required energy on your opponent's front line. And then this character is going to gain, this character cannot be chosen by your opponent's character or trigger abilities until the end of the turn. But yeah, the 6K defensive is going to be crazy. And again, he's got a lot of tools to help you play this card, including the special too, which is really cool. And then taking a look at his raid cards here, you are going to have a 1 cost frontline generator. So he has the color trigger, just keep that in mind. But the other color trigger isn't really made for this deck too much. But regardless, yeah, really nice. It's going to be a great raid target and helping you generate up to 10 energy as fast as possible. And then you've also got a 3 cost when played. If you have 6 or more energy generation, draw a card. And, you know, generally with how this card's playing, the turn you play it, hopefully you're getting that draw off. But yeah. He's a double energy generator as well, so hopefully with what this deck, what you're trying to do is get that back line of like 8. There is a triple generator Reiner here that we'll take a look at. And then his other raid card here that is actually going to be really nice is the 0 cost. You tap him to generate 2 energy, and then at the end of the main phase, you will sideline him. But again, what's really cool about this card is you can raid on top of him the turn that you tap him. So going to be a great addition to the deck for sure. And then before we dive into the Reiner card here, I just wanted to mention that the Annie is a really nice raid card for this deck. She's going to be a 5 cost, so really easy to get out with all the energy generation. And on top of that, when raided, if she's on the front line, when a Marleyan warrior affinity performs a raid from your hand, it actually is reduced by 1 energy. So you'll be able to raid out that Colossal Titan at a 9 cost instead of a 10 with this character on the front line, which will be really strong. And then she's also got when played, you get to play up to 1 green character with 3 or less required energy from your hand set to resting onto the field. So she's also helping you do a little bit of board flooding. This is a really nice looking 5 cost raid. And then when sidelined, you also get to return the base rated card of this character to your hand. And then yeah, she actually has a pretty solid like search raid target that lets you search for Marleyan warriors or pure Titans, so you can run this in either deck. But yeah, not a bad ability to have. Just all of this together is a great package. And then you can raid her out of life, which you're probably going to do no problem, and then a 4K BP. So yeah, great addition to this deck for sure. And then her other raid targets real quick is going to be the 2 cost when she's active. She's going to be a double energy generator. So again, all of their targets being these essentially double energy generating cards at low cost is going to be great additions to the deck to help you play these massive cards as fast as possible, hopefully. And then we have a 0 cost Annie. When played, draw, trash a card with the draw trigger. Again, great addition to most decks. And then we've got our 7 cost Reiner raid card here, the Armored Titan. Impact 1, nullify impact when raided, and then during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot choose this character with abilities on their character or event cards unless they pay 1 action point as an additional cost. So yeah, more or less protecting him from hopefully just easy specials, easy removal essentially, and even just like locking and stuff, because it's just the choose, not like your opponent can't sideline this character or something. So yeah, even just stuff like reducing his BP or something. He's a 5k as well, so anything that says choose an opponent's character, they're gonna have to pay 1 extra action point to choose him. So yeah, that's gonna definitely put some extra pressure on them. Again, with the impact and the nullify impact, it's just an insane combo. The impact's gonna be more powerful towards the end, of course, but the nullify impact as well on top of that, allowing you to stay in the game a little bit longer. But on top of all that, you're a 5k BP, so it's gonna be really cool if you're able to get like even just these 2 out on your front line pretty fast, and you're blocking a lot of things. And on top of that, I didn't even mention, one of the best parts about this 6k BP is a lot of specials in the game. Not all, but majority of them are capped at 5,000 BP. Again, a lot of them, or some of them, can go over that with how they're worded and stuff. But yes, the generic ones and stuff like that, a good other handful, they stop at 5,000 BP. So this Colossal Titan is going to be safe from a lot. So yeah, so if you're able to set up like your Bertol and your Reiner together, dude, it's going to be pretty crazy. The Armored Titan and the Colossal Titan on the front line. And then this is where stuff gets really cool. So we've got some event cards that plays into getting them out really easily too. Before that though, we do have this really, really nice looking 5 cost Reiner. He has a 2 action point, but when played, you draw 2 cards, you trash a card. He's got the add to hand trigger, and he's triple generating energy for us. And then we have our other Reiner card here, 3 cost. If you have 6 or more energy generation, he's going to be a 4k. So even if you are like just needing 4k attackers or blockers, this guy's going to be an option, hopefully. But on top of that, he's a double energy generator. No trigger, but you know, again, a great card to put in the deck with a raid target as well. And then our 0 cost, add this card to hand, generic raid target for our Armored Titan raid later on, hopefully. And then these 2 event cards here really tie the whole deck together. If you've seen the anime, it's so cool. They put this moment into like these 2 cards, and it's going to play into some really cool turns. So you started off with this card here, the 3 cost. Are we doing it now? Here, you can only use one of these cards once per turn. Choose 1 character on your field, or 1 card, so it can be like the field card here, this Titan Forest. And it's going to generate 2 extra energy. So if you're stuck at 8, or if you're stuck at like 7 with the Annie raid on the front line, this card's going to allow you to play the Colossal Titan that turn essentially. And then if there's a character with the name Bertol on your field, you actually get to choose one of your action points and switch to active, making this a free play card with the add to hand trigger. So if it ends up in your life, you're going to be able to get it and play it. And then you follow that up with this 9 cost 2 action point. This is your special. Keep that in mind, your special for the deck here. We fight now. We decide this right here. Choose one of the abilities listed below. If there's a character with Reiner in its name on the field, you get to choose all instead. So the 2 effects here. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Reveal up to any 2 characters, any 2 green characters among them. Add them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then you get to play 2 green characters with 4 or more required energy and 1 action point from your hand set to active on your front line, or perform raids with them. So essentially, this is a 2 action point, but I think it's the tie-in for the, of course, the 7 card search. So make sure this is a good search. Yeah, you're able to get your double raid out with this card. It's going to be pretty cool to see. Obviously, you're going to need 9 energy to generate this card. So in the perfect scenario, with it all working out great, once you're able to play this card, you're hopefully 1 energy away, or you have your Annie raid and you're able to play the Colossal Titan as well. Also, another cool thing I realized about this Colossal Titan is he's actually allowed to be played on your energy line, and you might be surprised how easy it is to get up to 10, or the 9 energy with Annie, making him a little cheaper, essentially, whatever. Yeah, you'll be surprised how easy it is to actually play this card, and not only that, but actually just raid him on the energy line. not triggering this frontline condition so you can still have 4 or whatever, and then eventually push him up for some extra pressure or something. Obviously, you're going to want this guy on the front line most of the time, but, you know, if this condition were, you know, if you're in a situation where you don't want to have to do that, or you want to just leave him on the energy line, you never know. You might be having some great games where you have 1 on the front line, 1 on the energy line or something. Who knows? But yeah, really cool thing to see here, man. This card, it all ties in together for sure, and it's going to play great. I don't know if the Titan Forest is going to go perfect with this, just because we already have all of our energy generation and stuff, and we need our raid targets, and it's all here, honestly. The package is here. But if you wanted to, you could definitely splash in like 2 of these Titan Forest cards. They're double energy generating 4 costs, and active main, you switch this card to resting and sideline a card, and it becomes a triple energy generator. Obviously, it's not going to be a bad addition to this at all, but don't be surprised if you don't end up really needing it. Add to hand trigger as well, so even if you just run 1 of them, it's actually not a terrible idea if you end up getting it. And then real quick, we do have these 2 starter deck exclusive cards. If you don't know, in the starter decks you get promo packs that come with 1 of each of these cards, 2 blue ones as well that we covered in the breakdown in the blue set. But yeah, so the 2 cards that you can get from the starter deck are going to be this 4-cost, 2-action point Armored Titan. During your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot choose this character with abilities on their characters or event cards unless they pay 1, so that's just an Armored Titan thing. And then when played, you get to choose 1 character with 2k or less BP on your opponent's frontline, sideline it. And then if you have 8 or more energy generation, you actually can target a 4k and sideline it. So he's literally just a play and remove. Now keep in mind, with this card here, this special, you can search for that Titan and you can add him to your hand. However, it does state 1 action point, so you will not be able to play this card with that special. But regardless, he's got an active trigger, 4k. The 2 action points, you know, he's removing something, so it's not crazy at all. But yeah, pretty good looking card here. And again, since he's only a 4-cost and we're trying to get up to 10, he's going to be super easy to play in this deck, I'm sure. The other card is going to be the 6-cost Colossal Titan. This card cannot be played on your energy line, so this one needs to be on your front line. And then if he is on your front line, the cards on your front line is reduced by 1. So that's funny. These are like pseudo raids. They're not exactly raids. He is a 5k, which is sick. And then when played, choose up to 1 sight on your opponent's field and sideline it. So that's pretty cool. He's a when played sight removal. Again, not a terrible card to have with the draw trigger. I feel like these are perfect cards to just have like 2 of in the deck potentially. It is unfortunate that with these raids, you do have to target the Bertel and the Reiner. So just keep that in mind. You cannot target the Colossal Titan and Armor Titan to raid on top of them. But you can play this guy with the We Fight Now, We Decide This right here special. So I mean, listen, these aren't going to be bad additions by any means. It's just going to be the fact that I have 1 goal. I need to get to 10 energy, and these guys aren't necessarily helping me get there. But more bodies, the better. We do have all the raids in the world with this deck that I'm looking at. So yeah, don't be surprised if these guys, you know, you've only squeezed in like 2 of them each. But again, 2 action point removal is not bad at all. But yeah, we'll start diving into the Zeke and Pure Titan deck here. It's like the Titan Army deck. Keep in mind, you might be able to do some mixing and matching, but again, yeah, it definitely seems like Zeke wants to be with the Pure Titans and doing like some sort of board flooding with smaller cards, smaller cost cards, whereas this card, the Bertel and Reiner deck, are essentially just trying to get all the way up to 10 energy as fast as possible with Annie raids as well. I don't know if there'll be much room for Zeke or anything else in there. But diving into the Zeke deck here, we've got the Zeke Beast Titan Raid card. So yeah, this is a really interesting deck. Basically, as you'll see, this Zeke card is board flooding with Pure Titans, buffing all of your Pure Titans. If you've never seen Attack on Titan and you're not reading the affinities or you're unaware, these are not Pure Titans. These are Inheritor of the Titan. So yeah, so when it comes to Pure Titans, it's going to be like these dudes, the mindless Titans walking around. But yeah, 7-cost Zeke Beast Titan Raid. For each card with Pure Titan affinity on your field, you actually reduce the cost of this card by 1 while it's in your hand, or anywhere else not on the field, but I think it only matters in your hand. So yeah, essentially what that means is, if you're generating 4 energy with a Zeke on the field, you can raid him, because now this card, as long as 3 of them are Pure Titans, now this card's a 4-cost, you know? So he's really not a 7. He's never going to be a 7 in the right deck. But I mean, I guess you could raid him you could run him in here and raid him, but again, all of his effects are around Pure Titans, so I don't think you're going to be doing much mixing and matching. Anyways, raid, when played, all Pure Titan affinity cards on the field are going to gain 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. And then active main, once per turn, choose up to one Pure Titan affinity card on your field. It'll gain impact until the end of the turn, and then if this character is on your front line, all Pure Titan affinity cards gain another 1000 BP till the end of the turn. And we mostly have 3Ks and 2Ks. This guy's not a Pure Titan, he's just Rod the Titan. Essentially, we're going to be hopefully buffing our 3Ks to 4Ks and our 2Ks to 4Ks consistently. Anyways, raid trigger, so you can raid them out of life if you want, and that could be a good defensive raid as well. Buff your Titans up so that you can actually maybe block an attack potentially that you weren't going to before. We do have a nice 3-cost Zeke raid target here, so during your turn, if you have 3 or more of Pure Titan affinity cards on your field, this character is going to gain 1500, making him a 4K. And then when played, you actually get to play one extra 2 or less cost Pure Titan affinity card from your hand set to resting on the field, allowing you to do some like board flooding. And as you'll see, that's like a nice little consistent theme you'll see in this deck, is getting a lot of board flooded Titans out, keeping Pure Titans on the board essentially with other effects. 2-cost Zeke, active main switch to resting. You can choose one Pure Titan affinity card on your field. It'll gain 1K till the end of the turn. So you set this guy up early, hopefully, and on top of your Zeke raid buffs, you're going to be also getting this additional 1K buff for those stragglers that are stuck at 3K even after the raid buffs or something. He's also got the active trigger, which is going to be really nice if it pops up in life. And then 0-cost Zeke, he's going to be our add-to-hand generic raid target, 1500. And then taking a look at the Pure Titans here that you're going to be able to run in the deck, we've got the 3-cost Relaxing Titan. When sidelined, play up to one card with 2 or less required energy, the Pure Titan affinity from your hand set to resting on the field. I don't think the 1 action point matters because all of the Pure Titans are 1 action point, but it does state 1 action point. So yeah, when this guy's sidelined, you actually get to play another Pure Titan in place of him on the field or on your energy line. He's a 3K with a double energy generator as well, so no trigger is a little unfortunate, but a great card to block with and then just play a body out in place of him. And then we've got the 2-cost Pure Titans, Zeke's Titans. When played, draw a card and then trash a card. This is definitely one of the best ones. It's only a 2-cost. It's a draw trigger, 3K BP. So you can hopefully consistently keep this one at a 4K, the army of Titans in a card. Then we have the 2-cost Pure Titan Small Titan. When played, draw a card. No trigger, 2K BP, but again, playing this card for free off of abilities and getting draws as well, it's going to be really nice. Also, keep in mind, board flooding is just amazing. Having bodies on the board can be really beneficial. Even if they are just smaller, the earlier the better. The more like rushing you can do, the better. On top of that, the more blocking you can do, the better. So yeah, even if they are just small little 2Ks, plus these effects, they're going to be really helpful. More triggers would be nice, but that's fine. And then a 1-cost Bearded Titan with a draw trigger, 2500. Again, it would be nice to see more 3Ks, just so if we are stuck with just a 1K buff, we're able to get the 4K more consistently. But regardless, 2500, and he's only a 1-cost, so what are you going to do? And then we have the 0-cost Peering Titan, active trigger, so if it comes out of life, you get that. 2K BP, great 0-cost to run, obviously, because it's going to be a Pure Titan. We also have the 1-cost Cart Titan. This is actually an inheritor of the Titan, so this will not be a Pure Titan. It is the generic, when played, return a 1 or less back to your hand, and if you can't, return this card to your hand. Yeah, we will probably not be running this card. I don't think there's any real reason to. I mean, unless you were running, like, I guess, real quick, you could throw this Annie in because she has a 1-cost search for a Marleyan Warrior or Pure Titan. So even if you aren't running the Annie raid in this deck, which, you know, wouldn't be terrible, she could actually work in this for sure. Now that I think about it, Annie raid will work great in this because she's not specific to any sort of deck. And, yeah, since this guy's a Marleyan Warrior, she'll make him even cheaper to play. So, no, you could definitely run Annie in here for sure. This Annie raid card could be good. And then we do have another Titan raid card that you could put in the deck here, 4-cost Rod. During your turn, this character gains 2K BP, making him a 6K when he's attacking. And then if there's an active character on your opponent's front line, this character is going to gain damage too, which is a really interesting effect. We haven't seen that before, so it's like this essentially like you can't get a free damage 2 off, but you know, if they have just one body on the front line, it's going to be a damage 2. It's very interesting. And they have to be active, of course, but and then when sidelined, you actually get to draw a card. So yeah, not a bad raid card at all. 4K BP, add to hand trigger, so you can't raid him out of life, but yeah, still could be really, really good pressure. And then you do only have one raid for this raid card, unfortunately. It has to be Rod Reese. But 0 cost when played. Choose up to 1 character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. With the draw trigger, and again, since we have like this Weenie Rush sort of vibe that we're going with, all these 2Ks and 3Ks, getting a nice 1K addition to the board could be good in some instances, especially because we are playing cards for free for the most part. Even though sometimes it is specifying a pure Titan, this Annie card, for example, can play any 3 or less when played, so that's pretty good. And then, yeah, the Titan Forest might go pretty well in this deck, but might not be 100% necessary. I think it's definitely more intended for the Armored Titan and Colossal Titan deck here. But the 4-cost Titan Forest, active main, switch to resting, place 1 card from your hand to sideline. It goes from a double energy generating site to a triple generating site till the end of the turn. With the add to hand trigger, again, maybe you just throw 1 in if you really want it, but we have pretty low cost cards in the Zeke deck, so I don't think it's going to be necessary at all. And then we have the color trigger for the deck here, the 2-cost Titan Injection. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal any 1 card among them and add it to your hand. Place the remaining on the bottom of your deck, and then if the card you revealed is a pure Titan Affinity, Rod, or Zeke card, you get to choose one of your action points and switch it to active, basically making this a free search. But even if you don't find one of those things, you can take any 1 card and add it to your hand, which is, you know, that could be pretty good. You never know. You never know what you add. You never know what might be the game-winning card. But again, yeah, color trigger, so keep in mind you do have to choose between this and the Bertol card here. And then the special for the deck, 4 cost, I'm going for a perfect game. It's going to be our generic, not bad at all though. Choose up to 1 character with 3K or less on your opponent's front line and sideline it. But if we have a Zeke card on our field, we can choose a 5K instead. And again, such an interesting card to see added, this Bertol card, the Colossal Titan with 6K BP, because yeah, now these cards that are limited to 5K cannot target this guy. Now keep in mind there's going to be plenty of decks that reduce him down to a 5K for sure, but just in general, it's not going to be a free 5K removal on this Colossal Titan. But again, the caveat with this card is you can only have 3 on the front line instead of 4. And then the final for either deck here, the 3-cost Marleyan Warriors. Choose up to 2 of your action points to switch them to active if you don't know. A few other cards here that I guess you could just kind of put into either deck. They're just kind of like nice additional effects if you want to run them. 2-cost Ymir. In Nullify Impact, always a great ability to have. Could definitely save you in late game. With the active trigger, 3K BP. Honestly, you know, not a terrible card to slip into the deck just to have the Nullify Impact. I think literally this Reiner card here is the only Nullify Impact in the set, so that definitely gives her some value on the green side. And then we do have our 3-cost Kenny Ackerman card. This is going to be our generic, cost 2 instead of 3 if you're going up against a blue or a red deck. You know, if you want to run this like in the rare battles, that's where you might see some added value to it, just because you know you're going to see one of these 2 colors potentially. And then we have a 4-cost 2-action point Kenny Ackerman. Active main once per turn. You can only activate this ability on the turn this card is played. Choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with BP equal to or less than this character's BP and sideline it. And then the active main here, he is just a 3K, but the active main, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. This character gains 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. So you could play him for 2 action points, sideline a card, and then active main, sideline a 4K on your opponent's front line. Yeah, I mean, you never know. 2 action points is a little bit of a price to pay, but yeah, 2 action points and a trash a card. This is a pseudo special, and you're getting a body on the board. Not a bad card, honestly. The only thing about Kenny Ackerman is, I mean, we're trying to get as many pure Titans in this deck, and we're trying to get as much energy generation in this deck, so might just be a little bit annoying trying to squeeze him in. But again, if you could find room for like 2 of him, I could see him putting in some work on the right turns. And that is every single green Attack on Titan card that we're getting. Yeah, I think the Titan set looks pretty good, especially if these cards come out as fast as I think they're going to. Again, having access to like 3 really strong raid cards could steamroll into a really nice sort of board flood with bodies this big too. If you're doing a lot of blocking, yeah, who knows where the game goes for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how good these decks perform. I'm probably going to be trying out the Colossal Titan and Armor Titan deck. That just looks so fun. And I'm not going to lie, the Zeke deck might surprise me with all the pure Titans. You never know. You never know what sort of pressure you can put on your opponent by just flooding the board with bodies and constantly having them out. And yeah, if you guys do want to check out the blue and red full set breakdowns, I should have those up by now, so definitely check them out. I'll have links in the description. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.